So today we are going to discuss about the microbiology spoilage of canned food. So as all of you know, that canning is a method of preserving food in which food content are processed and sealed in a airtight container. So what is generally happen in canned food? Whatever food material is there, first of all, we are taking that material inside a container, and after that it is sealed, and thereafter canning process will be done. And the canning provide what is happening by giving this kind of processing treatment. Canning provides shelf life typically ranging from 1 to 5 years. You can well imagine the condition. Just by giving this type of treatment to your food item, you can preserve it from 1 to 5 years. Now, what are the different steps? Packing of product into container, then hermetically sealing of the container. Thereafter, you have to give the processing treatment depending upon the nature and quality of that particular food item. And side by side, you have to give the same treatment to the container in which it is your food item is packed. Next one is thereafter you have to cool it down, and then you have to go for storage. It all depends upon the nature of that particular food item. For how long period you have to store it, and what is the characteristic of that particular food material you have already packed in your sealed container. First of all, it is very important to know the history of canning, how it was started and who was the man behind it. Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, during the war time, in late 18th century, he was very much concerned about his armies. Uh, his armies fed, how their armies will be fed. So he just instructed to their scientists to develop that kind of food item that can be kept for a longer period. So Nicolas Appert, you have to remember this name. I can ask you and fill up the blanks. Nicolas Appert was the scientist who conceived the idea of preservation of food in bottle-like alcoholic beverages. And thereafter, he showed that food without preservative will not spoil if it is sufficiently heated and sealed in an airtight container. So he was the man who had given idea about the canning process and how you can preserve your food for a very long period and without any sort of spoilages or deterioration in food quality. You can transport your food item from one place to another place. Now, here I have given you some idea about the process of canning. Packing the product into the container. Here you can see this one is empty container, and unprocessed food is taken inside that empty container. Then it is hermetically sealed. Unprocessed food is there inside that container. Then thermal processing is done. It depends, time temperature combination is depends upon the nature and characteristic of that food item. Thereafter cooling will be done, and then it is hermetically sealed container. Product is ready, and it is placed in a good storage room where it is stored for a certain period before transporting it to the retailer shop or distribution places. Here in this also, I have tried to give you the raw material is there. Thereafter filling in cans, sealing is done, and thereafter the final product is prepared. Just you can go through this slide and you can have idea about the whole processes of canning any food item. Now, something about canning processes. Can sort swollen, irregular appearance as contaminating. What is microbiology involved in it? And what are the general things people can observe in a canned product? What is happening? Sometimes swollen, irregular appearances as contaminating microorganisms produce gas when they grow in a canned food resulted to cause swelling of the container. What is happening? Some gas forming microorganisms which may be present in the system or food item that will start growing in aerobic environment, and that will produce certain amount of acid as well as some amount of gases, and the amount of gas produced by those contaminating microorganisms will create this type of irregular appearance in any canned product. It is assumed that the product inside might be spoiled and sometimes they may explode from excessive internal pressure. Sometimes when gas production is very high, automatically bursting may take place or it explodes because of the gas formation. Flexible or non-rigid containers will appear ballooned. What do we mean by this word, balloon? It will the shape will be changed and it will be swollen out just like balloon. If can is leaky or rusty, the can product a smell, uh, putrid or alcohol-like smell is there, and discoloration may be observed, especially in syrup or juices. And because of that, turbid, cloudy, slimy, or moldy appearance will be appeared on different kind of fruit product, fruit syrups, on different type of mm, uh, juicy products. Now the steps in canning. Packing the product into the container, I have already told you. Then hermetically sealing is done. Hermetically sealed container is designed and intended to be secure against the entry of microorganisms. What do you mean by this? It should be sealed like that there should not be any sort of entry, any kind of entry of contaminating microorganisms inside the container. Thereafter sealing uh, glass jars or metal cans is done. So what are the different types of product and what type of treatment generally we should give during the canning process? In high acid foods, the example of that kind of food is jams, jellies, uh, sauerkraut, sauerkrauts, and then kimchi, pickles, fermented vegetables. They are generally processed at 100 degrees centigrade and they are kept in water bath canner considering to kill botulinum bacteria in boiling water. Sometimes what is happening in case of when your food item is contaminated with Clostridium botulinum, these botulinum spores can survive boiling temperature and can be eliminated by using higher temperature than the boiling water. So if you assume that there may be chances of some kind number of spores in the food item, automatically you have to think about slightly higher temperature. Now, in case of low acid foods, what are the examples of low acid food? Generally, in our daily diet, we are taking this, consuming meat, poultry, fish, and vegetables. They are low acid foods, and it must be processed at 116 to 121 degrees centigrade in pressure canning process. So automatically, you can see the slight increase in temperature in case of low acid foods. Now the high acid foods, fruits, jams, jellies, fermented vegetables, lemon juices, these are heated at 100 degrees centigrade in boiling water bath canner. What type of treatment generally you have to give? You have to simply heat it in 100 degrees centigrade boiling water bath. And the higher acidity level of the ingredient and the heat treatment given during processing safely preserve the food. Here, I have already told you that if you want to improve the preservation effect of any sort of treatment, here you are giving canning treatment to your product and side by side, the acidity level of food is high. Automatically, you are combining two things and it will naturally improve the preservation effect of your canned food item. Now, how you can go for cooling process? Cooling cans is immersed in cold water or let them to cool at room temperature from 12 to 14 hours. As the temperature of the product drops, whatever to temperature they have already attained during the processing treatment, a vacuum forms inside and pulls down the lid. What is there? Lid is already fixed on the top. And when you are cooling your product, automatically lid will pull down inside. And this is often accompanied by a popping sound, a, a significant type of sound you will observe, and it happens within minutes after removing the jar from the water bath container. So it means your product is completely packed. And canned products should be stored in a cool, dry place, and it should not be stored where temperature extremes exist. So you have to maintain a suitable temperature depending upon the nature and type of your food item, which you have, which undergoes canning treatment. Canned product can be used within 1 year without any change in its quality. So you can see that just by giving this kind of treatment to your food item, you can keep your product for a very long period without affecting its quality. Now, we are mainly concerned with the spoilage of canned food. So what type of problem generally found in different kind of canned foods? Spoilage can be observed due to the biological and chemical regions or a combination of both. So both biological and chemicals regions are responsible for creating a spoilage problem. The biological spoilage is primarily due to the microbial growth, while chemical spoilage is due to the hydrogen mainly produced by the action of acids in food and iron present in can. Generally, what we are doing, lacquered packaging material is used. But if there is lacquering is not proper and your food item is come in contact of iron, automatically this type of problem will start growing inside your canned product. Sometimes swelling of canned product observed, and it is mainly due to the high summer temperature. So summer temperature is also responsible for creating this type of abnormal condition in your final product. Now the hydrogen swell is due to production of hydrogen gas in can because of action of acid of foods and iron can. I have already explained this thing. Now the can product show varying degree of bulging, and this problem is associated with increase in storage temperature, higher acidity nature of food, presence of soluble sulfur and phosphorus compound, and internal surface lacquering of container. This I have already told you that how the iron present in container affect the overall condition of canned food. So you have to remember these 4 points, that storage temperature, higher acidity nature of food, presence of soluble sulfur and phosphorus compound, and internal surface lacquering of the container. These are the things which create normal situation of product or abnormal condition or some kind of a spoilage problem in canned food. Now, one major problem is sulfur stinker spoilages. These type of spoilages occur in low acid foods and causative organisms Desulfatomaculum nigricans. You have to remember the name of this particular organism because sulfiding is one of the well-known problems generally found in canned product. So please remember this, the name of this microorganism, uh, uh, Desulfatomaculum nigricans. Then spoilage cause discoloration inside the can, showed pink to dark purple. Hydrogen sulfide will be formed as a result of breakdown of sulfur containing protein, that is liver or kidney. This type of problem um, uh, you can see in different kind of meat product or poultry product or fish product by the organism Clostridium group, Clostridium nigrificans, and sulfur, which is known as sulfur stinker, with the odor resemble like rotten egg. So what kind of odor generally you will observe? whenever you get this type of abnormal condition in your food item, the odor is just like rotten egg. Sometimes black discoloration you will observe because of the hydrogen sulfide reaction with the steel base of tin, which produces iron sulfide and may lead to pitting. Now the next group is thermophilic and aerobic spoilages. It is very important because thermophilic, you have idea that it can survive at higher temperature range. So what is happening in this kind of a spoilage? This type of a spoilage is caused by thermophilic anaerobes, which are not able to produce hydrogen sulfide. Clostridium thermosaccharolyticum is the main organism involved and produce acid and gas in food, and it showed sour or cheesy smell in a spoiled product. So which organism is responsible for causing this type of problem? You have to remember the name of Clostridium thermosaccharolyticum and what is the end abnormal condition created in your final product, sour or cheesy smell in a spoiled food produces. So you have to uh, uh, keep in your mind the name of microorganism and problem created by these causative organisms. Here, a table is given in this spoilage of canned food is there. These are the chemical spoilages and these are the biochemical, biological spoilages. We are mainly concerned with the biological spoilages, but you are going to be a technocrat, so automatically you must have idea about both what type of chemical spoilages are there and what type of microbiological spoilages are there in any kind of food item. In this table, I have tried to give you the appearance generally observed on the can, and the description is also given in the right side. Flat, flipper, springer, soft swell, hard swell, and breathers. So these are the different problems, and the description is also given in the right side. So simply, uh, hello, you please mute your mobile. Priya, you mute your
Yes,
mobile.
sir. Oh,
Who is speaking there? So these are the different appearance generally found in canned product or canned shape. So the next one is spoilage by non-spore former, which is very important in canned product. So what are the problems generally associated with the presence of these non-spore formers? And what type of spoilages they are creating in canned product? Presence of non-spore formers in cans indicate post-processing contamination. You are giving a severe treatment to your product. You are already given a very high temperature treatment during the canning process. So there should not be any sort of this kind of microbe. So if it is present in the system, it gives idea about the post-processing contamination. The organisms which are resistant are generally present in your food item. And what are those microorganisms? The prominent one is Micrococcus, Lactobacillus, then Enterococcus, Streptococcus thermophilus, then Leuconostoc, Microbacterium. You have to remember all the name of all these micro. So what they are doing, presence of these microorganisms indicates or responsible for creating leakage of container. Cooling water is one of the important source of contamination, and coliform may also gain entry into the can through these leakages and spoil the canned product. When you are placing your canned product after processing inside your cooling water, automatically if a small leakage, if some kind of a small leakage is there, automatically it will spoil your canned product, especially what type of microbe will gain entry into the system, that will be the coliform. Now the spoil is by mesophilic spore former. Bacillus and Clostridium. You have already idea about the Bacillus. You have idea about the Clostridium. These are the main microorganisms, main mesophilic spore formers. These micro Microbes have ability to produce a spore in different kind of food item. Now, spoilage type and characteristic is given in this table. This I have taken from your e-course, that mesophilic Clostridium type. Sugar fermenting species are there, Clostridium botulinum and Pasteurinum. These are the two microbe species of Clostridium group. And swelling of container is mainly because of the carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Putrefactive species such as sporogenes, putrefaciens, and Clostridium botulinum, they uh, play a major role in creating putrefaction type of problem in your product. Decomposition of protein and uh, ammonia, indole, hydrogen sulfide, and acetol are produced by the decomposition of protein by these microorganisms. Then spoil is prevalent in food process at 100 degrees centigrade. So if you are raising the temperature of your product at this level, automatically you will get this type of problem. Now the mesophilic bacillus species. Bacillus is most involved. Problem more prominent in poorly evacuated cans, seafoods, meat, evaporated milk, most affected, and then polymaxa and marcerans involved in this kind of problem. Entry of organisms through leakage of cans. So automatically one should avoid the leaking of cans at the time of uh, cooling it or lowering down the temperature of your can after processing. You should keep this thing in your mind. So gentle transferring is required from processing place to the cooling space or cooling container. Then spoilage by fungi. It is also very important. Yeast and their spores are not thermotolerant. It means they are not of major concern, but they are not found in what is there in what is there with yeast. They are not found in properly heat treated can. Their presence also indicates the same problem: faulty processing treatment or post processing contamination through leakage. Then fermentative yeast are more prominent, and they often produce carbon dioxide and cause swelling of cans. So, uh, dear students, you people, you all have to remember this thing, that the problem is mainly because of the post processing contamination, and carbon dioxide and is mainly responsible for that, and ultimately it creates swelling in can. Occasionally, film yeast is also shown on the surface of the canned food product, and it is because of the yeasty growth in that particular food item. Now the mold, Aspergillus and Penicillium are common mold, generally responsible in spoiling canned food. They can grow even at a higher sugar concentration. You have already studied this thing in your previous classes, that how they can grow in case of higher sugar content and at the high acidity level, which is generally prevailed or produced during the processing or storage of the product. Some mold are resistant to normal heat treatment applied during processing, and it is generally found in homemade canned foods where heating and sealing is not done under total aseptic condition. So aseptic production of all these things are very much required. Whenever you are going for canning process, aseptic production is very much required. Now something about the health aspect, because it is very important. Whatever product or whatever item we are producing, and just after giving certain type of treatment, um, our main aim that is should not transmit any kind of diseases to human being, because of the canning process, generally anaerobic environment is there. So the diseases caused by Clostridium botulinum are the major concern, which is anaerobic in nature, rod shaped in nature, and they are able to grow at pH 4.6 level with a long temperature range, that is 20 to 45 degrees centigrade. If you are keeping your canned product in this range, automatically a small number of Clostridium botulinum may create abnormal condition in your final product. So it also produces botulinum enterotoxin. We are mainly concerned with this word, botulinum enterotoxin, that cause severe neuroparalytic condition, and that is known as botulism. So please remember this thing. See, they are responsible, whatever toxic substance releases inside your canned product, that creates severe neuroparalytical condition, and that is known as botulism. The most common way of getting botulism is either by eating the contaminated foods or drinking the contaminated beverages. Both can transmit some kind of diseases to human being. The patient may show blurred or double vision, vertigo, dry mouth, slurred speech, drooping eyelids, difficulties in swallowing and speaking, muscles weakness, and the mortality rate is very high due to the respiratory or cardiac failure. So you can see that what type of microorganism is mainly responsible for creating a spoilages problem, and what type of condition is there which favors the growth of different kind of anaerobic microbes which are responsible for creating certain type of toxic substance, or ultimately it will be affected, our health will be affected. So we have whatever time temperature combination given by or recommended by different industry people or research personnel, you have to maintain that condition during the processing treatment. So just by doing all these things, and aseptic packaging is also very important in this case canning process, you can control the whole system. So this is, I think this is all about uh, microbiology of canning product and canned product. And thank you, thanks a lot for attending this
Thank you,
class.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.